Hello everyone. This is the second lesson of Kalidasa's Avijnanasakuntalam. Kalidasa's Avijnanasakuntalam, like his Raghuvansha, is most popular and very widely read in all parts of India. It is a love drama and belongs to that class of Rupakas which is known as the Nataka. Its subject is taken from history in its main outlines. The single play has so much of the poet's genius displayed in it that we need not go to his other works to establish the superiority of Kalidasa's muse. Its language exhibits all the graces of his style. It is highly elegant, being dignified where necessary. It abounds in striking and tasteful comparisons, is sublime in the poetical portions without becoming obscure or involved, and presents a most charming ease and simplicity in the dialogues without ever descending to vulgarism. No forced constructions, no offensive conceits mar its beauty. The meters are mostly of the shorter kind, very musical and varied, with the sonorous aria prominent among them. It is also highly finished from the artistic point of view. The action is progressive and the interest well sustained. Wilson's remark, the story, the situations, and the characters are all highly imaginative, and nothing can surpass the beauty and the justice of many of the thoughts. To select one as an example were to disparage a number of other passages, and they may be left to the critical acumen and taste of the reader, applies more appropriately to the present play. The very fact that there have been translations and versions of these translations made of this play from time to time in the various languages of Europe, ever since it was made known to the European world by Sir William Jones by his publishing a translation of it, is a sufficient proof of its supreme elegance and growing popularity among the learned in every country of the civilized world. Though resembling its two sister dramas in many of the above-mentioned features and in its general dramatic structure, the Avijnanasakuntalam differs from them in many respects. It aims at giving a realistic picture of the life of the people in a more marked degree than the other two. The usual expedient employed by writers of erotic plays, viz., the introduction of a rival wife or wives, to give variety to the action and add interest to the incidents by the unwelcome interruptions in the love meetings of the hero and the heroine, is not made use of in the present play. Another distinguishing feature of it is the comparatively insignificant part assigned to the Vidushaka, who is so conspicuous in the other two plays. There are also no maidservants introduced in connection with the love intrigue, since there is none such mentioned in the play. Kalidasa is regarded as a master of similes and of sweet and melodious language, and this is amply borne out by the present play. It is hardly necessary to point out particular instances in such about in it. As for the music of his language, every verse of the drama, nay, even the prose of it, bears upon it the impress of the same. The poet's observation of nature is very vivid and true to life. The first act has vivid pictures of the same. The highest merit for which our poet is prominently distinguished in the sublimity of his thoughts. There is nothing commonplace or vulgar about them. Though the principal sentiment is love, we find no vulgarity or want of decency in the expression of it. It is all pure and sublime and can be read without a blush. True poets like Homer, Dante, and Milton are distinguished for their sublimity of thought. In the dramas of Shakespeare, the sublimity of thought runs throughout, but there are places where we find so much coarseness that we blush to read them. Such passages are of course expunged from the editions of his works intended for young readers, but we cannot find such vulgarity in the plays of Kalidasa, and the fact does him the greatest credit. Now we are discussing some beautiful slokas of Act 1 of Avijnanasakuntalam. न खलु बाणः सन्निपातोऽयमस्मिन् मृदुनिमृगशरीरे पुष्पराशाविवाग्नि क्व वत हरिणकानां जीवितं चातिलोलं क्व च निशितनिपातवज्रसाराः षडास्ते. शान्तमिदमाश्रमपदं स्फुरति च बाहु कुतः फलमिहास्य अथवा भवितव्यानां द्वाराणि भवन्त सर्वत्र. इदं किल व्याजमनोहरं वपुस्तपः क्षमं साधयितुं य इच्छति ध्रुवं सनिलोत्पलपत्रधारया शमीलतां छित्तुमृषिर्व्यवस्यति. सरसीजमनुबिद्धं शैवलेनापि रम्यं मलिनमपि हिमांशोर्लक्ष्मलक्ष्मीं तनोति यमधिकमनोज्ञावल्कलेनापि तन्वी किमिव हि मधुराणां मण्डनं नाकृतीनाम्. Therefore, the first act begins with the description of the summer season by the narrator Sutradhar. He also introduces King Dushyanta. Then King Dushyanta, chasing a deer, enters the ashram of the sage Kanva in his chariot. The king aims at the deer, but a monk restricts him to hunt in the premises of sage Kanva. Then the monk invites the king to the ashram and Dushyanta enters the ashram. The monk informs the king that sage Kanva is out for some days. Shakuntala, accompanied by two companions, Priyambada and Anashuva, welcomes the royal guest. The king is surprised to see the beauty of Shakuntala. A wasp has been hovering around Shakuntala for some time and she runs towards Dushyanta for safety. Dushyanta talks to Shakuntala and her companions. He comes to know that Shakuntala is the daughter of a Kshatriya, a warrior king turned a Rishi Vishwamitra. The king is informed that Shakuntala is the foster child of sage Kanva. Just then an agitated elephant enters the ashram and Dushyanta orders his soldiers to take care of the animal. Shakuntala has also been suffering from the pangs of love. Cupid has done his work. Shakuntala leaves the place with her companions, burning with a desire for Dushyanta. Thank you so much to everyone and please stay tuned with the channel Samskrutam.